What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the RC Retro channel. Well, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'm battling a cold, which is why I sound a little nasally. But regardless, I'm going to push through and bring you some awesome RC content. Because what you just saw was a brief overview highlighting my build of the Tamiya Super Clodbuster Gray Edition. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to get this out for some action, have some fun with it. But before we even do that, I just wanted to share my experience and my thoughts about the Super Clodbuster Gray Edition. Now, I understand opinions may vary, and I respect that. And I respect your opinion, and I hope you respect mine. But for me, this is hands down the best looking Clodbuster that Tamiya has put out to date, from the original until right now. You're probably like, what? You're crazy. Nothing beats the original. But I think this does, at least for me. I just love the coloring on here. It just took the Clodbuster to the next level for me. I love the matte black finish on here, which you could only achieve if you paint this, and it really complements the stickering on here. The metallic foil stickers on here and the light blue ABS parts on here, it's just phenomenal looking. Now, the one biggest issue by many people, whether it's online or even on other Facebook groups or YouTube videos, is the wheels. How come the gray wheels do not match the body? And I know I painted mine, but even the body as is out of the kit is a different shade of gray than the wheels. And I don't have an answer for that because Tamiya just does some wacky things and never really explains themselves to us. But nonetheless, I still think it looks fantastic. Now, going back to what I previously said about painting the body, many people just got their kits, put it together, said, body looks good, I'm going to throw some stickers on there, it's going to cover up the mold lines, and, well, I like it as is. And I was one of those people when I did an unboxing that basically said that. And then, after looking at the body and the mold lines and the coloring of it compared to TS48 over here, I wanted to go and cover up those mold lines, and I wanted that matte finish on here. And so I primed my body, sprayed it in TS48, and then went over it in TS80 flat clear. As for the front and the rear bumper and the roll bar and every other piece you see on here that's black, well, I wanted to achieve that matte look as well to match the body. And Tamiya gives you two sets, gray and black. However, it does have that sheen to it. So I primed those pieces as well, like, for example, the grill in the front, and then I painted it TS6 in matte black. And I love that matte look to it. Now, the one issue with the matte finish is that I heard it's a dust collector and it tracks dust and it shows all imperfections as far as dust and dirt on there. And we are going to get this out and we're going to get it dirty. However, I did my Revolutionary War Wild Willie 2 in a matte finish, got it on the track, had a lot of fun with it, and it cleaned up nicely. So I don't really think that's going to be much of an issue for this. Now, as far as the build, a lot of plastic, no bearings, even includes plastic bushings. So if you're going to build a Clodbuster, I highly suggest you get yourself a bearings kit because that's your #1 upgrade all the time. As far as putting it together, well, Tamiya's directions are laid out nicely, and if you follow it step by step, you're not going to have any issue if you're keeping it stock. Me, I decided to make one other additional upgrade to bearings, and that is a behind the axle servo steering set. Now, many people pointed me in the direction of Crawford Performance. Unfortunately, when I went to their website, their behind the axle servo mounting kit was sold out. What do I mean by behind the axle servo mounting kit? Well, the Super Clodbuster is 4-wheel steering, and it's kind of wonky. I had a lot of fun with my black edition you see right over here peeping out, but I wanted something with a little bit more control and something a little bit more precise. And so, there's so many aftermarket companies out there that make aftermarket parts for this. I just wanted to limit it just to front wheel steering. And so while Crawford was out of stock with their kit, interestingly enough, on their website, there was a link for J Concepts, which has a regulator behind the axle servo mounting kit. So I went over to their website, and in that kit, they also give you the piece where you can lock out the rear. So there's no, steering from the rear over here. The kit itself costs about $70. I think it's well worth it. And it installs easily. But because I got this and started to put this together before I got the J Concepts kit, I was not following the manual step by step. I was kind of just all over the place, building this, building that, whatever. And because, I built so many of these, not saying built so many Clodbusters, but so many Tamiya kits, I could do that. If you're somebody who's first getting into RC, I would highly recommend just building the kit step by step as is first, because you got to experience a Clodbuster as is, the jiggliness and the bounciness of it, because, well, you have 8 pogo stick shocks on here. So now, speaking about that, there are tons of aftermarket parts and companies that put out aftermarket parts, and this brings me to my question I want to throw out there to all of you, because there's so many like aftermarket parts, and people basically change the entire Clodbuster. I mean, you have different chassis, different suspensions, different shocks, wheels, tires, bodies. That people take it to the next level, that only the front and the rear gearbox is left on here, and nothing else is the original. So at that point, is this still a Clodbuster? I'm not trying to start an argument with anybody, but I understand people want to improve their performance. At that point, in my opinion, it's really not a Clodbuster anymore, other than your front and your rear gearbox, because it's completely changed. So it's kind of like a hodgepodge of all different aftermarket parts, making like a super racer monster truck. I don't know. Leave a comment. Be nice. Don't bash. But hey, listen, that's my opinion. Anyways, so those are the 2 upgrades I did for my Super Clodbuster Gray Edition, because I wanted to do something just a little different than my Black Edition that you see over here, while still pretty much keeping it, as is. And that's just bearings, because you have to, and I just eliminated the 4-wheel steering and moved the steering up to the front. But you can't even tell by looking at this, right? So if you want to know more about the Jake Concepts front, behind the axle steering regulator setup, I'll post a link in the description to this video, and I'm sure I put up a whole bunch of different images of it. You can go check that out. They have a great tutorial online too of how to install it, because their written directions are just written. There's no real pictures or anything, and I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner. So anyways, I've been babbling enough, and I don't feel well. My throat hurts, so we're going to go right to the action footage, okay? So enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you for your support, and I will see you all in my next. Take care now.
And that's what you want. Action. Hit it with the GoPro. Or the Clodbuster hits it with the GoPro. Whichever one hit the other. That's cinematography right there at its finest.